Hello, everyone. My name is R. Curtis Van Payne Jamerson, and I have a book that will be released on September 12th, 2 years after I was released from the hospital suffering from COVID. Now, when I wrote this book, it was based solely on everything I was going through mentally, emotionally, physically, and especially spiritually. So, what I decided to do is just read you a little bit of chapter one just to get you a little bit more excited about the release. Hopefully, you enjoy it. Thank you for listening. 10 o'clock in the evening, Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. Natasha called 911 as my blood pressure was deathly low. I'm feverish and in some pain as well. Now, normally I would have just let her take me, but this is not the time to be thinking about me and my likes or dislikes of hospitals and aid cars and all the hidden fees. This was the time to be obedient and get in a damn EMT and get it to the hospital. I remember thinking how long the ride was taking, and I didn't know where the hospital was in reference to my residence. I could hear the EMT saying, "We'll be there in 15." Man, that was the longest 15 minutes ever. Thoughts were parading all through my head. My brother saying, "No, don't ever go to the hospital unless it's deathly necessary." I totally understood why he felt that way, considering he had COVID and he and my sister-in-law, they treated it in their home. Well, I blew that by mistaking getting fresh air for walking around the block a few times, which is what I did, and I paid for it dearly. Coughing nonstop, blood pressure dropping, headache throbbing. Now, let me take you back to the day before all these shenanigans. Natasha had taken me to Multicare Clinic after the walking fiasco, and they checked me out and gave me an inhaler and sent me home. Fever was lower, and since Natasha made me drink some soup with my salt, my blood pressure raised up a lot higher as well. Natasha shared with me that when she was taking care of me post the clinic and the hospital stay, she wasn't fearful, but instead wanted to ensure she was taking care of me best as she could. She was in caretaking mode, so to speak. It wasn't until she realized that my condition was getting worse and I needed to be hospitalized that she became fearful that she could possibly lose me. See, she had experienced the loss of a boyfriend before and she wasn't ready to go through that again. Seeing me helpless and so sick brought back painful memories for her. Here's the short of it. Natasha was in a serious commitment with an amazing man we're going to call Jeremy, and he was diagnosed with a form of cancer at the early age of 26. This is how wonderful this woman Natasha was and is. She researched natural medicines that would not only help Jeremy, but practically cure him. They went to a natural path, and then she had him juicing, taking vitamins, and making sure his meals were plant-based, and most importantly, she kept him away from all sugar. Apparently, the sugar would provoke the cancer activity. Everything was going as planned. They were in a great place. The doctors on his team said his cancer had gone into remission and whatever he was doing, keep it up. Well, you know how we hardheads are. He did keep up the regimen, however, there was only one problem. He couldn't stay away from the sugar. Natasha says she found all kinds of Snicker wrappers and other candy that he was sneaking into their home. Apparently, Jeremy loved Snicker bars and just couldn't stop eating them. So just like anything that we allow to control us, it takes total control and eventually the Snicker bars, consumed him. And his cancer came back even more aggressive than before, and about 8 months later, he met his demise. Natasha witnessed it all, watching him take his last breath. I could only imagine how she felt when I was barely responsive to the paramedics when they came to pick me up. There most definitely had to be some fear of losing another boyfriend. You never would have known it, though. She was on it. I could hear her, but I wasn't able to respond. I mean, she was answering their questions without any hesitation, telling them what she administered to me before they arrived, what my blood pressure, my oxygen levels were. I mean, on it. I don't think any other woman would have known what to do. I think they would have panicked, and I would have not made it. I truly believe that wholeheartedly. Okay, now fast forward to September 12th, 2021. I'm out of the hospital, and her nursing and nurturing abilities kick in full throttle. Breakfast like clockwork as soon as she got up for work, lunch around noon or so, dinner in between 4:30 and 5, and in between she made sure I was taking my blood thinner meds, steroid for my lungs. Incredible, this woman. It took 6 months for my recovery, but I am now better than I ever was. I guess sometimes your angels here on earth have to be revealed to you in the flesh. Fast forward back to the EMT drop off. You know what I hate most about emergency rooms? The wait. Well, I guess since I came via EMT, I had some seniority. Before we move deeper into the story, can we talk about the vaccine?